Is the NHL sicking its fans on its players? Welcome back, Mother Puckers. It's me, your host, Beck, as always. I'm joined by Danger Water and by Chris, the lovely trio of the Pucked Up podcast. We're back for another
not
week, y'all.
Mario.
It me, not Mario.
Not Mario.
Waluigi. His name
It's
is the most
green.
fun, I think.
Waluigi?
Yeah,
I mean Purple Mario?
yeah. Purple evil Mario, to be precise.
Yeah.
He's
But
not a good dude.
no, I like to
He's really
picture
not.
Wario and Waluigi as like Bond villains.
Oh yeah, that's
And
good.
it makes
that
makes
tracks.
their backstory so much better.
Yeah,
Like immediately. I was like, all right, I'm here for this fucking
I'm into it.
depiction of the Mario Godfather.
I'm into it. That's true.
I am here for it. I agree. No.
I love it.
Oh my
Well, welcome
God.
back, guys. It is we're in January, y'all. We've been in it for a minute. Jesus fucking Christ. Somebody just got fucking body slammed upstairs. I swear to God.
Somebody just
They
Are you
are
sure they're not
auditioning to be
like
the next
like WWE
Super
Superstar?
Series.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say, are they just
100%.
training
That's
pro
exactly
wrestling
where my
upstairs?
brain went.
I think it's what they're doing.
I mean,
So
it's
sorry.
got to be right at this point.
It's so
And
like
considering where you live, that's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah. Not yeah. Anyway.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
All right. Well, we're back. We're here. It's another week. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching last week. We know that was a longer podcast than we normally do, but there was just a lot of fucking shit happening.
Took me
We'll
almost
have a
6
couple of
hours to
updates.
edit. I just want to let you know.
Yeah,
There are
Chris is the
things that
MVP.
didn't actually make it that were multiple conversations that
Yeah.
like didn't even make it because I had to cut something. It was
Yeah.
rough.
It would have been like a 4-hour recording. I think it was like 4 hours for us.
It
to
was
record.
like 3.5
Like
hours.
3.5,
It was like
yeah.
3.5 hours. I removed 45 minutes of fucking.
It was crazy. So you're welcome. And everybody thank Chris in the comments down below.
Or don't.
For
Like,
listening
it's
to us
fine.
repeatedly for 6 hours.
You can call
I'm sure
me.
that the conversation doesn't get any more interesting though the third time you've listened through. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, it doesn't. Like it's like some of the bloopers are good, but like I just saying again, second week
Yeah.
in a row now. BetterHelp, just call us up. That was
So
my
yeah, like we have all, I think, gotten significantly
all
an uptick of ads for
100%.
BetterHelp.
And not even just BetterHelp, because then like immediately the next day after recording, it was evidently the hockey talks night for the Washington Caps. So my timeline was just full of like Caps promotional material about like ask for help and hockey
Yeah.
talks and one skate at a time and like all this stuff. And I was like, I really am being like pushed that I'm in this crisis that I didn't know I was in. But my friends think it, my team thinks it, like
We're all just trying to get you help, Dee.
Right?
And
That's what
you
it
just
is.
have to want to help yourself.
It doesn't help that I sent both of you just legit BetterHelp ads on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Oh yeah.
100%.
I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw it pop up. I'm like, no, I have to. And
You have to.
Oh yeah, no, now this is going to be the thing.
oh, it's
Yeah.
so yeah, but I'm fine with it.
Oh, I am
Yeah.
too. A, it's
How
always a helpful reminder, like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. And B, you
It's
know,
funny
it's
as
kind
fuck.
of funny when we're feeling good. When we don't feel good, it's like, oh yeah, that might be a good
Mildly
idea.
offensive.
And when we are feeling good, it's just fucking hilarious. Mildly
Yeah.
insulting. I mean, like I said, we're just trying to make you see what we see, D.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much.
That is your desperate cry for help has been heard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's
I
so
might be
funny.
just taking it out on you, and I need it, but you know.
To be fair, I think all three of us need it. So again, better help.
Oh
if you wanna
yeah,
hit us
yeah,
up.
no.
Dude, there is not
Our
a
email's in the
therapist in the
thing.
world that makes enough money to deal with my bullshit.
Well, the first
Thank you.
topic this week, I think, is a lighthearted one to start. Most of our topics this week, actually, well, most are lighthearted.
Most of
So,
them.
Chris, you wanna give us an update about the All-Stars, specifically their jerseys?
The NHL has released their 2024 All-Star jerseys. And they are in collaboration with
Interesting.
pop superstar Justin Bieber. For
Yeah.
those that aren't aware, Justin Bieber, very publicly a large hockey fan. He's
A Leafs fan,
regularly
right?
Yes, he's regularly spotted at his home city, Toronto,
Yeah. So
and
it
he's
being
a
in
big Leafs
Toronto,
guy.
yeah.
Um, they are pretty cool. I will put them on screen for you now.
I'm not
Um,
I mean, they're okay. They're not necessarily my cup of tea. They look like practice
Yeah.
jerseys to me.
yeah, I mean, so
I
like
like them,
they're
don't get
very
me wrong.
90s. They're very
They're
90s.
very
Mhm.
90s, very 90s like
Yeah.
PlayStation or Sega,
Yeah,
like
no, I can agree with
kind
that.
of vibe. And I think that that's what they were kind of going for. But yet at the same time, like, because it was as a nod to like this younger generation. But I feel like these are even like some of this younger generation's parents' generation, like my
The
age, you
younger
know.
generation's very much so into 90s and 2000s culture
Mhm.
right now, which I'm like, y'all wouldn't be if
Oh
you
yeah.
lived that shit.
Yeah, like no, I survived the 90s, thank you.
Yeah, we made it
I
through.
don't need to relive it.
There was no anything other than we survived that shit.
Yeah.
But they have four variations of the blue, red, gold. It's definitely gold.
It
And
looks
white.
yellowy to me, but yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looks yellow, but
But yeah, it's listed as
again,
gold.
like I don't hate the
Yeah.
colors themselves. Like the design is fine. It's just not as professional. Like that's not even fair. Yeah, I just think they could be better. I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
how to make but
I love the idea that they're working with someone prevalent in pop culture. Like
oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Justin Bieber's a big name. If you don't know who he is, you're living under a fucking rock. Um, he's a big hockey fan. He's a great ambassador for the sport. Get him involved with that. I think that that's a win-win. Yes, the jerseys could definitely be better. They are not the worst jerseys that the NHL has had for All-Star games
No,
in the
no.
past 15 years.
Yeah.
There have been worse, but
Right.
I'm I don't know. I'm always one of those people that I don't like to make a full like opinion on a jersey unless I see it on the ice. So
Mm.
I
That's
don't think
fair.
I can make my own fair opinion until I see them on ice
Or at
playing.
least on, like, an actual, like, person.
Yeah,
Player?
on a
Yeah,
person,
Yeah.
yeah, that might
yeah.
make it or break it. But like I also feel like last year we all had like that visceral like we all loved
Yeah.
those jerseys last year
I think
collectively
that's
and now we're like
yeah.
I think each of us feels somewhat indifferent on them.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, it's not bad. It's
yeah.
just
I
I
don't
wouldn't
I
spend
don't hate them.
last year's I would spend money on.
Oh,
This
same.
year's I
That's where
don't feel
I'm
like I
at,
would.
is that
Yeah.
in
You know.
comparison, which, like, comparison obviously is the thief of joy, but, like, in comparison to last year's, these are so
Yeah.
fucking boring. Like,
Yeah.
they're very basic, which isn't a bad
It's not a
thing,
bad thing. Yeah.
but it's nothing that I
It's
wanna spend
just
money on, and I think, like what Danger you said, I think you're correct. I think they wanted to go with a retro nostalgia, early
yeah.
2000s, late 90s kind of a feel to it, to appeal to our generation because we are able to spend money on the NHL now that we're adults.
Yeah.
Um, but I think they
I
missed the
have
mark with it
NHL
because
money,
I think that
kids.
last year's was actually more appealing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious to see how this will go. Um,
Yeah.
like I know jersey sales were fucking crazy last year. So I'm curious to see what sales look like. We're winding down um our Adidas time. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also curious to see this last ditch for Adidas because their contract's up at the end of next season.
Mhm.
So, I don't know.
I
We'll
will
see. Like I said, this is it's like you guys had said this is meant to be a
bad.
quote unquote nod to the young talent of the league. And it's like if that's the like generational portion this goes for, like the teens and early 20s like
Yeah.
fans, then you know what? It's a success.
Yeah.
Um
Right.
I'm sure a lot of people hated the fucking jerseys last year that are older, So
True.
I don't know. It's very interesting, but um yeah, we didn't get to talk much about the Winter Classic jerseys, so
Oh, yeah.
make sure we cover the All-Star jerseys.
I I do like it in some aspects. I actually like the NHL shield with the bubble lettering
Mhm.
there. I think that
Yeah.
that's cute.
It's
I
that
just think that
old
it's
school.
we're missing something more in the background maybe, and,
Yeah.
like,
The
the
jerseys
stars
are
just look a little
plain.
cartoonish,
Yeah. I think that's what we're
Well,
which
missing
and
is there's no
them
yeah,
design on the
hanging
jersey.
here too,
exactly.
they look like sweatshirts to me.
They do. Or like a
I think
You
long
the
sleeve
know?
t-shirt.
I think that's what they were
Yeah.
going for, something that could be easily a
Yeah.
jersey, or they're also selling them as long sleeve T-shirts. So I
Right.
think they wanted
Which
to
I wouldn't
make
hate
it
it
more
as a t-shirt,
merchable.
I don't think. Yeah, maybe.
But the problem
But still,
is
even
that
last year,
you
yeah.
can't do any customization with it right now. Like you can't really get your player's name on it because it hasn't been announced who's on what team. So we
Yeah.
don't
Oh, fair.
know where, the
Because
player
of the
from
draft, yeah.
Minnesota is going to end up. If he's going to end up on blue, red,
Right.
yellow, gold, whatever. White.
Right.
So right now and eventually, like, I did see too, and I don't know, Chris, sorry if I'm stealing your thunder if you
No,
were
no,
gonna
you're
mention this
good. You're
next.
good.
But I did see that they're gonna add a patch to one of the shoulders that indicates what team that they actively play for.
Yeah. So they try like obviously with last year they didn't get as much of a, like hype up for them bringing back the like quote unquote fantasy draft,
Yeah,
which I really enjoy. I think that's super fun and that's like I think the All-Star game is supposed to be fun. It's
yeah,
not supposed to be anything super serious except for baseball. Like the All-Star game for baseball deciding home field advantage for for the World Series, that works specifically for baseball. And you know
right.
what? I am super cool with that. But like for the NHL, this like it is supposed to be the best of the best just playing. And honestly,
Mhm.
the fact that you've got all these players and they're doing the 3-on-3 and they're just letting captains pick,
Yeah.
that feels like backyard with your friends, playing hockey, being like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna take you, I'm gonna take you, like
Yeah,
I feel like that's kind of where we're getting, and I'm down for that.
yeah, 100%. Do we know yet how long the games are gonna be?
I
Am I
feel like
correct
they might
remembering
have.
that's they're like, really short? That's the one thing I would love to see changed, is, like, let's give these boys a little bit more time because I always felt like the games are never long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the 4-team thing, it's like, is that really what we want to do, or do we want to just do what everyone else does and
Yeah.
just have 20 play another? Or even like the Major League Soccer, the entire
Mhm.
fucking league is an all-star team and they go play an international, club,
Right.
which I think is cool. But the NHL, where it is the
Who
most
would we play?
elite. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
unless you bring over like a team from Sweden or something like that.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but
Or
the
like the
NHL is
KHL, but that's like there's a lot with that would be difficult,
yeah.
let's
That's to
say.
say, like the NHL is the pinnacle of
Yeah.
pro hockey in the world. So, um, yeah, I think next year, if things don't go well this year, I think next year we'll see a hard look at what the NHL
Format.
is going to do about a format change if
Yeah.
if they decide they need it. But
I feel
I
like since they've shortened the skills competition, which I think is great, and I'm actually really excited to see that. I think since they've shortened that, they can lengthen the games just a little bit because now they have more time for that kind of stuff. And I think that
yeah.
like anything that gets us more hockey, I'm all for.
Oh, I'm here for that. Yeah.
So we'll see. But I'm excited. Should be good.
Oh yeah.
Um, that actually leads me into kind of my next point, which is an update about the PWHL. God, I still can't fucking say it.
We're gonna struggle saying
Um,
it each time.
every time. But they are actually doing a 3v3 showcase at the All Star Showcase.
Yes.
So they have announced their rosters for the Canadian Tire PWHL 3-on-3 Showcase starting February 1st. So Team King is going to be Kendall Coyne Schofield, Hillary Knight, Alina Mueller, Kelly Panic, Marie Philip Poulin, Blair Turnbull, Savannah Harmon, Megan Keller, Ella Shelton, Lee Steckline, Anne Renee Desbin, Aaron Frankel, and Team Kloss is Alex Carpenter, Emily Clark, Taylor Heiss, Brianne Jenner, Sarah Nurse, Abby Roke, Laura Stacy, Erin Ambrose, Renata Fast, Jocelyn LaRoque, I think so, Nicole Hensley, and Emerance Maschmeyer. So the 24 players are selected by the PWHL and include 17 of the 18 inaugural PWHL free agent signings. New York's Mika Zandy Hart was unable to participate, unfortunately, due to injury. The referees will be Samantha Hiller and Elizabeth Mantha, and line persons will be Alexandra Clark and Kristen Welsh. Officials from the AHL and the PWHL will officiate the game. So
Nice.
very cool. Tickets are on sale via Ticketmaster. So if you're interested and are in the Toronto area, be sure and attend that and support the women because that is pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
And then, sorry, I also have the coaches, but I forgot them. Cassie Campbell Pascal is going to coach Team King, and Megan Duggan is going to coach Team Kloss. So the
Alright.
teams obviously were named in honor of Billie Jean King and Ilana Kloss,
Yeah.
which are PHWL advisory members. So very cool with that. Another quick note about the PWHL. We're just going to go through a quick standings recap. Minnesota is in first place, followed by Montreal, New York, Ottawa, Toronto, and closing it out with Boston. Boston is very unfortunate in that they've only played 2 games, and they've had 1 win and 1 loss. Now, the PWHL, I should say, tracks overtime wins, so that 1 win for them was an overtime win. Which I actually like seeing overtime wins, that it's
Oh
just kind of
yeah.
broken out separately because I think that to me makes it feel like you know how hard these players had to work to get that W, which is pretty cool. And then last update for the PWHL, I'm moving quick on these, is going to be our 3 stars of the week. So starting out with our 3rd star, Taylor Heiss, center for Minnesota. Heiss recorded 2 goals, 1 assist, and 8 shots last week to help them claim 4 of a possible 6 points in 2 games played because they had their first ever loss as an overtime loss this week. The first ever overall pick had an especially strong game visiting as they were visiting Toronto, as the center scored 2 highlight reel goals, including the game winner, and recorded the primary assist on Kendall Coyne Schofield's 3rd period insurance goal. Heiss's 3 points were the driving force behind Minnesota's victory as the team won the game by a score of 3-1. The forward also had a strong week at the faceoff dot. She was 64.7% on January 10th, 60% on January 14th, for an average of 62.35 in 2 games, more than double her previous week's percentage. She now sits tied for 3rd in league scoring with 4 points, tied for 2nd in goals with 3, and tied for 1st in rookie scoring with teammate Grace Zumwinkle. Our 2nd star is Ella Shelton, who's a defenseman out of New York. Shelton followed up a historic first week in which the defender scored the PWHL's first ever goal by recording multiple points in each of her games last week with 1 goal, 4 assists, and 6 shots in 2 games played. She was on every goal New York scored last week, 2 versus Montreal and 3 versus Minnesota. The 25-year-old recorded her first multi-point effort of the season in a 5-2 loss against Montreal, where she recorded the primary assist on Jesse Eldridge's first period goal and added a game-tying power play in the 3rd. Shelton also played nearly half the game with a game-high 29 minutes and 15 seconds ice time, which is just fucking nuts. In her 2nd
Yeah.
game of the week, Shelton recorded 3 assists, the most for any player in a single game so far this season, including the primary assist on both Alex Carpenter's 2nd period goal and Emma Woods' overtime winning goal. Shelton's stellar play led New York to the overtime win on the road, which marked Minnesota's first loss of the season. The defender now leads the PWHL scoring race with 6 points and also sits first in assists with 5. And lastly, for our 1st star of the week, Marie-Philippe Poulin, a center for Montreal. Poulin registered 3 goals, 10 shots, and a +3 rating in 2 games last week, highlighted by a hat trick against New York at UBS Arena on January 10th to lead her team to a 5-2 win. Montreal's captain became the 2nd player in PWHL history and the 1st in team history to record a hat trick, and the first to do so on the road. The 32-year-old followed up her hat trick performance in her team's home opener on January 13th by winning 74% of her draws and putting 5 shots on net. Poulin's strong week propelled her to tie for 3rd in league scoring with 4 points and a tie for 2nd in goals with 3. For the week, Poulin helped her team score 4 out of a possible 6 points, good for 2nd place overall in the PWHL. Very cool. Very exciting. Love that they're doing the 3 stars of the week, and we will continue to give you those updates each and every week.
Heck yeah. I
Yeah.
went back and watched the New York Minnesota game from Sunday. What a great game.
What's that?
2
They really
games
are
la-
entertaining
2 games
games.
this weekend went to overtime as well. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which I love to see that.
Oh yeah.
I think
I
that's great.
know Boston and Toronto, Minnesota and Ottawa. They play for us as a time of recording. They play tomorrow, so they will have already played by the time this comes out. But those are the two games that'll be taking place on Wednesday.
Mhm.
I know during less than normal, so I won't even be able to watch either of them. But I can just watch them afterward.
Right. True, that's a
Definitely.
great thing about them streaming on YouTube is that their games are there,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, all the broadcasts are right there and readily available, so it makes life so
Yeah.
much easier. If let's say if you're watching like tonight, I didn't even realize there was a game on. If I had scrolled, I would have checked, but it also would have like interfered with the Ducks game. So like
Yeah.
I can go back tonight after like once we're done recording, and I can
Mhm.
even go watch that just to go see because it looks like it was a good game.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I wish the NHL would at least try to broadcast one game on YouTube
Yeah.
to see like to be able to simulcast it, right?
Right.
Mhm.
I think that'd be cool.
Unfortunately, the NHL has so much money that they would only do it if it was an exclusive partnership with
With
YouTube
YouTube, yeah,
Red or Prime or whatever it is they call it now.
premium
YouTube
now.
Sports, YouTube Play, YouTube everything. Um,
Google,
they would only do it that way because then they get a portion of the cut, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, which seems
Which is the
shitty.
one shitty thing, like, that's what's nice about the PWHL right now is that it is so much smaller that the, like, barrier to entry is lower because they're putting it on
Oh yeah,
YouTube for more people to see, which I think is incredibly helpful because
I
enough
hope they
women have a hard time getting
keep
into the
that
sport as it
partnership
is.
or that connection though. Like
Yeah, I
once
do.
they do start developing, I hope that they keep that ability to allow some games, if not all of them, some games to be streamed live on YouTube for free and
Right.
like
Like, their
because
rivalry matchups at least would
yeah,
be really
oh yeah.
dope to see.
Like paywalls I understand because paywalls
Yeah,
are a thing and that is the way
how
of
people get paid, yeah.
media nowadays. Like
Yeah,
NASCAR for instance is about to embark when their contract hits on their first ever like behind paywall streaming platform to like have races on Amazon Prime.
right.
Um so like the way of the world obviously the way and especially the way of sports is going the route of that. Um So like it's inevitable to see the PWHL eventually snag on. It's probably going to be with
Yeah.
ESPN. ESPN's snagging all the media rights and all like ESPN Plus is such a worth it product to have.
Mhm.
Um so I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the next couple years hop in and jump on that train, but at least be able to
Yeah,
broadcast a few on YouTube or something like
I
that.
think so. Always stick to their roots would be nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Chris, you have some updates for us on some players that we have spoken about previously on the show, that have gotten
Yes.
into maybe a little bit of trouble here and there.
Yes. So, recently it was announced that Corey Perry is available to sign with any team of his choosing. There are
Yeah.
a lot of people that are like, "Hey, we could use him."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Edmonton's name has been thrown around. Ottawa,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, Columbus, Colorado, Montreal, like all of these there's so many
Mhm.
teams that are chomping at the bit for someone like Corey Perry, who granted stats wise, yes, he's not lighting up the boards anymore. He's not obviously at his
No.
former Hart Trophy winning level, but
Mhm.
9 points in 16 games, like that's not terrible for someone who was on a really bad team.
Yeah,
Um, he brings
which
veteran
Chicago
leadership.
is.
And he brings those clutch moments that yes, he's not scoring fucking 40 goals a year anymore, but
Right.
he'll give you the productivity you need. Um I don't know where the best fit would be for Perry right now, but it is nice to see that after all the nonsense that happened with Chicago,
Yeah.
that he is going to most likely get another opportunity. I don't think his career is done.
I
Um
don't think so. But I don't
I
think we're gonna see anything until after the All-Star break.
I agree. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see him sign anywhere for a little bit. Um Other news is Colorado Avalanche forward Valeri Nikushkin has officially entered the NHL NHLPA Players Assistance
Yeah.
program. There is obviously no timetable for that. This is the
Right.
second time in 8 months he's been away from the team in a personal reasons standpoint. I know that there has been talk in the past of um, severe anxiety and depression being treated with alcohol abuse.
Hmm.
So I obviously nothing's been said at this time. It's been said that he's just gonna step away. Uh the
Yeah.
team's I'm super happy to see that Colorado's embracing it and supporting him through it, and knowing that he'll have a spot back in the team when he is, feels able to come back, and we hope that, Val gets everything he needs and he can come back better than ever.
Yeah. Absolutely. We always wish the best for any of these players that decide to enter it. I think it is interesting. He is the second player for the Avalanche this year to
Yeah.
enter the program, because I don't think we talked about it earlier. I think we didn't have a show that week, but Samuel Girard also
Yeah.
announced in November that he was seeking assistance from that program as well. He did come back in mid-December, however, which was great news. But that is at least 3 people in the last couple of months really that have entered into the player program, which I think it's so great that it's there. I think the
Right.
NHL needs to look at the contributing factors to why it's been used so much recently.
Yeah.
If there's anything
Well,
they could do to better support players so that it doesn't get to a problem where they feel like I have to take a step away from the sport or I'm going to
right.
explode. You know what I
Well,
mean?
and I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to see an influx of players actually using it, because it's
Yeah, I
at
didn't mean to
least
say
it's
that was a bad
showing.
thing.
Yeah. No, no, no. And I know what you meant, but like I feel like it's showing that, like, these players are finally opening up to, like, the idea of, hey, I'm not okay, and like I gotta go take care of this, instead of like doing it in a super unhealthy way that like
Right.
fucks their career over. At least like knowing that the player assistance program is there in the first place,
Right.
I feel like it makes me as a former player a little happier to know that at
Yes.
least the NHL is providing resources and players are finally using them. And I think that's
Yeah.
a, a big thing here is the realization of, like, hey, maybe it's not so bad to get some help.
Well, and I think players are finally using it because we've seen quite a few players successfully enter the program and leave it and not be immediately terminated from their contracts
Right.
for, those, what do they call them? Conduct clauses or whatever.
Right.
Like, they have been able to come back and be a part of their team and, reintegrate, so to speak. So I think the success of the program speaks for itself. And I think it's necessary, and I'm so glad it's there. I'm just wondering if there's more stuff that the NHL, and this will kind of go into our question of the week later. I'm wondering if there isn't more the NHL can do to provide this support sooner rather than later, because these moments with Corey Perry, with Valerie, they entered the player assistance program after a massive scandal. You know what I mean?
Right.
They effectively, well, I don't want to say effectively because I don't know their situation. From the outside looking in, it appears that they hit a rock bottom, and that's why
Yeah.
they entered into it. So what can the NHL do to promote it even more so that they're getting into it quicker, so they don't have to hit that rock bottom and be made a spectacle of in
Right.
front of the entire fucking league?
And then with everything else that came out with the whole Bedard situation and
Yeah.
with Perry, and that not only affecting professional life, but like that was a, like,
Well,
ruining Corey Perry's personal life and like his marriage and
well,
stuff, and people were saying all the shit, and it was like,
Yeah.
and I wonder because in the Corey Perry interview too about free agency, he says he's like, I basically ruined my own career with the Blackhawks. He's like, I did it.
yeah,
So I don't know if it was, you know what I mean, like if it that it's to the level only of, hey, he's the one starting rumors, or he means because he did go do all of this stuff, or
right,
whatever it may be. But I mean, I am thankful if that is the case, that because that at least sounds like he too got some help. If
Yeah.
he means the more literal way of doing it to himself,
Right.
as well. So
And we all, I'm sure, have understood and had our fair share
yeah.
with self-destructive behavior in our
Oh
lives. So
yeah,
Yeah.
I get it.
absolutely.
And I imagine all the shit that went down after the fact didn't exactly help in any
Yeah.
way.
Right,
Uh,
right.
I would say that, though, I think we've all seen that the NHL has a history of asking people to fall on their swords a little bit.
yeah.
Mhm.
So while I, appreciate that he's saying, "I'm the only one," maybe he is taking accountability, as that is a really important step in recovery for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I do think that the NHL does have some blame to bear with how the situation, with Perry and Bedard
Yeah, not just like
was
nipping
done.
it in the bud real fast, you know.
100%. They let the Chicago organization come out here and be like, what he did was atrocious to his team and all this stuff. And like
Right.
We're
these
not going to
rumors
tell
start
you what it is. Yeah, that's
right. They
really what
start
it
Right.
was.
circulating. And so they're 100% responsible for the
Yeah,
fact that like now there's all these jokes. Like we've, in my community, I've seen people being like, oh, we should bring Perry here. We don't mind if he fucks Ovechkin's mom. Like, which, while funny, like, go ahead and try. Um,
Um,
is, like, really
that's
not
actually pretty
great,
funny.
and I'm sure that people don't love seeing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'd love to see Perry slap that D on his chest again and come play in Anaheim. I'm not going to lie.
I
I'd
mean,
love to
yeah.
see him
I
back
mean,
in Anaheim.
I mean, I think what I saw in the reporting is that he knows that he's gonna have to take a pay cut because of all of what
right.
happened.
Yeah.
So it's not out of the realm of possibility to see that.
Just to see him, even if this ends up being his last season, just to see him play in Anaheim one more
Retire,
time
yeah.
would
Yeah.
do enough for me as a fan.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
maybe. And like, I
Yeah,
don't know, I wouldn't. I'll be happy for Corey wherever he goes. You know,
Yeah.
right,
he's gonna hold a special place in my heart because look at what he did for Anaheim. You know,
right.
that would be like, God forbid, if like Backstrom or Carlson ever left
Mhm.
like Washington, or if Creel had a long career in
I mean,
Minnesota and then left. It's like you still like
Yeah.
you're gonna
we've
want them
already
to come
seen
back
it.
just for one more time.
Yeah, I would love to see Holtby come back. I'd love to see Dima come back. Dmitry Orlov is playing incredibly for the Hurricanes right now.
He is. He's
And
playing
God, if
real
he
well.
came back to Washington, I'd be so goddamn happy. Like, I don't care if he's 87 when he does it. Like, I would just love to get Dima back
So you could tell me
in the red and
Penguins
blue one more
fans don't want
time.
to see Yager play one more game.
One more game?
Oh yeah.
Everyone wants
He's
to see Yager play one more
he's
game, though.
the
Yager
only
wants to
the
see him
only
play
way
one more
I
game.
would
Yeah,
accept
I was just
him
gonna
back in
say.
Pittsburgh is if he grows the mullet again. It's the only way
Oh,
I will
God.
accept Yager back in Pittsburgh. Has to
I'll
have the
accept
mullet.
Yager back in any way I can get it. I
That's true.
mean,
You know, the only legend that when asked who his favorite player growing up is, he said, "My favorite player growing up is Jaromir Jagr."
yeah,
Like a
is
fucking
me.
gem. We need
I have so
Jaromir
much love for
Jagr.
Yager.
He's the
So, so
man.
much. He really is. Chris, were there any other trade updates or anything that you wanted to get into as well?
I actually think Danger has that prepared.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
I just noticed it as I was looking at some other
Yeah, I
things,
didn't
but
even know until she said anything to me. Normally
yeah,
I'm on
and
top
it
of that.
apparently happened on the 11th. So, but that goes to
I
show
I fucked
how
up.
it's split under. No, it's been since our last recording, so
Okay,
we
yeah.
didn't fuck up. It just it went all weekend without me seeing it on anything,
No, I
and
didn't see it either.
actually looking up the trade tracker. But the Montreal Canadiens acquired forward Philip Cederquist.
Mhm.
Twist. Yeah.
Yeah.
From the Buffalo Sabres in exchange for future considerations.
Interesting.
Wow. Not a player
I
I'm
hate
overly
future
familiar with.
considerations.
Me
Because you never
too.
fucking
What
know
the fuck does
what
that mean?
they're gonna
You know,
like. It
I
could be a
figured it
player, it
out
could
though,
be money,
guys.
it
The
could be
future
fucking
considerations is for a rider on the syphilis party bus.
yeah. Yeah, see,
That's how this keeps spreading throughout
But,
the
like, I
league.
don't understand how, as, like, a GM, you could take that because to me, future
Right?
considerations, I'm not
It's
gonna
too
lie,
up in the air.
I'm gonna be
It's
shitty as fuck, and I'll be like, "Yeah, I
uh,
considered it,
he's a
and
good
yeah.
now I'm
he's
giving you an old, tired out, piece of gym equipment."
he's a good forward. We have 3
Considerations.
chickens for him.
Right.
Just get fucking
How do you
wild.
define it? And then what do
Future
you do? Like,
considerations ends up being prospects or draft picks.
well,
So
Right.
it like could go either
But
way. I
still,
don't know if
like,
right.
Buffalo really wants to give up like
Future considerations.
well no, so Buffalo would be getting the future considerations from Montreal. Hey dude,
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I don't know if Buffalo can like bank on fucking future considerations because they suck.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I'm the one that said that they were
yeah.
gonna make the playoffs in the top 3. Yeah,
Hey, you know what?
listen,
Can't always be right.
We're all wrong
they
sometimes,
looked
Chris.
good. The idea was there, and it's still possible,
It's
but like
still
it's
it's
not
still possible.
probable. Like it's possible we
100% still
could become
possible.
the top team in the league, but like will I get shot and then run over and then attacked by a bear all in the same day before that happens? Probably.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, a
Yeah.
Yeti, I would say, instead of a bear. Still
Fucking
more probable
yeah,
than being the
Connecticut
top
is
one.
black bears. Well, black bears don't really bother. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
probably Yeti.
Yeah.
100%.
Bigfoot break into my house.
Right.
Oy
Um,
vey.
speaking of
Oh, speaking of
possibilities,
Yetis.
Yetis? The
speaking of Yetis,
wilderness? We'll tie it to the wilderness
weird
and
but
then
not
flowers.
wild. That's a commercial for you,
There
Danger.
it goes.
Take back to the team.
We'll get to the
Getting
team.
shot and then run over and then fucked by a Yeti. Weird but
And the Yeti
Weird
is
but
played by
wild.
Marc-Andre
yeah.
Fleury.
Yeah.
Because we love our flower. Yes.
It was
No.
a
Last
flawless
night,
transition. Thank you very much. I'll
was
pat
beautiful.
myself on the back for that.
I did what I could
That
to
was
help bridge that
Yeah.
gap.
Thank you.
that was like mine a couple
Very
weeks ago.
wide
whenever
gap.
Very wide gap.
Math, he did it. He did it, guys. He is now the
He
second
did.
winningest
He did
goalie
it.
of all time with 552 wins, which is amazing.
Yeah.
They looked good last night. Like, so what was it? Friday night? Saturday night. They had a closed door meeting after the game. Because we lost 5-0 to Arizona.
Yeah, but
Hey, man,
Arizona's
Now,
not a
Arizona's
bad
been
team
kicking
right now.
some
No,
teams'
no, this
asses
year
for
they're
some
not a bad
reason.
team. And it was great to see Dumba back. He got really emotional. I did think it was
Yeah.
cool. He mentioned he kept his place in Eden Prairie, and actually Duhame and Dewar, I think, are the two that are renting it out from him.
Yeah.
And he said that Dewar is continuing on his like hockey camp, his youth camp. So while he's not here, because there's a huge group of fans that is still really holding out hope that next year we'll be able to re-sign him once we're done paying for fucking Suter
Fucking
and the other
Suter
jackass.
and Parise, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Those
like,
contracts will
So
come
he's
to an
been
end.
paying.
So.
I mean, it's like filing bankruptcy. Legitimately, getting rid of those two. It's been like a 7-year debacle of continuing. I mean, I think it's only been 5, but
I think after fucking Alex Rodriguez retired, the Yankees were still paying him for like 4
oh yeah,
years.
Yeah.
So
it's just
that
absurd.
contract was a nightmare.
And why? Like, I get. I don't know.
The
Anyway,
problem was
I
they
won't get up
signed
on that
them both
soapbox.
when they were 2 of the top 10 players in the league.
Yeah, but why did
Yeah.
we
what
pay
it
to
is.
get rid of them? That's my thing. Like, they still
Because
were both
nobody
decently
fucking
talented
wanted them.
players. But they were
Nobody
decently
wanted them.
talented still.
Yeah.
At
Like,
least
they're both
one
still
of them
playing.
was.
They're both still playing, but like, yeah,
Well,
no,
yeah.
nobody wanted
I mean, so
them,
that
and
says
they just didn't
something.
make a contract, so they bought them out.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, good things from Fleury. We're super happy from him. He said he got goosebumps hearing just shy of 18,000 fans chanting Fleury at the game.
I bet.
It's like, it was goosebumps. And the whole team like just bombarded him and eventually got him from around the crease to the glass and pushed him out, and like just as guys joined the pile, it was I don't know where Fleury ended up underneath it all. But yeah, I'm sure he is having a wonderful time celebrating that, and that is huge news. Again, we all love Fleury around here, so.
Now he just has 139 to go to catch
139. Hey, you know what?
I don't
It's
think he
not
plays that long.
impossible.
No,
it's not impossible.
No, I think he's already talked about
improbable.
how he's thinking about inching closer to retirement. So
yeah,
because
I personally think he
for,
wanted to play.
Yeah.
No.
To hit 139 wins as a goalie.
He'd probably have to.
Well, yeah, no, I don't.
yeah.
I'm saying I
If
don't
he
see him
plays-
playing 4 more years.
Yeah,
like,
that's
Yeah,
why I
oh,
say
okay,
like
yeah.
it's possible, but I don't. It's
yeah,
not. Gonna
it's
be
very
likely.
Not for the life
improbable.
he wants to live. Yeah.
Yeah, and his
No.
kids are getting bigger, and like sure he wants
This
to
is that
spend more
time where you want
time.
to start like doing stuff with them.
Yeah, because they're
Yeah,
Because now they're doing like cool
exactly.
shit. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
be there
they're
to teach them
fun.
how to drive, and you can't do
Yeah,
that
right,
if you are playing 139 more games in the NHL.
right.
You just
and
can't.
that's assuming you win them all.
True,
Because
true.
he's
He would have to
almost
win
40,
a
right?
lot.
Yeah, he just turned 39,
39.
so
Yeah. Yeah, I think his birthday is
I think your knees start
October,
like
September,
changing
October, November.
like structurally
Yeah.
after
yeah.
a certain point.
Well, yeah,
And
I mean,
yeah.
And other wild news, I was just gonna say, we finally got Brodeen back, which is huge.
Great
We
news,
had
yeah.
he ended up, and I had heard somewhere that it was like a fractured or broken wrist. What apparently actually happened is he ruptured and or tore the ligament in
Ooh.
his thumb. And he
Yowza.
said initially after taking the hit, because it was a hit from Kane, and he said initially I thought it broke my leg. And he goes, and I was sitting on the bench, and the more I sat there, the more my thumb really started to hurt. And I realized it was something really significant, which is probably, he had one time I saw him, he had a brace covering his, the ones that go from here to all the way to the thumb and stuff. So, but yeah, he's back. He's looking good. And Gus was back for the game against Arizona. Obviously, that game didn't go great for him, but there's not much
No.
you can do about it.
Yeah.
Not with how hot Arizona is right now. They are.
I did get to see
Yeah.
my boy D'Lo fight Maroon. Unfortunately, Maroon did lose that fight on Friday night. And it literally, like, I don't think anything started it. Delorier was a healthy scratch the game before for Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And just apparently wanted to fucking fight somebody because they literally looked at each other and started dancing. Like
that sounds like Nikki. That sounds like Nikki.
it sounds it's and Pat Maroon. Like
yeah,
they both played together in Anaheim too. So like there is that camaraderie.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah. And I'm sure it was just a hey, you wanna
and he's like,
yeah,
I got nothing better to do.
Go?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a couple of good games, disappointing games along the way. But yeah, hopefully Wild are back on track because kicked ass last night.
God, I missed that feeling.
And Zuccarello hit 800 games.
Nice.
Last night too, and then scored the first goal of the game.
Nice.
Last night too. So yeah, that was the other big thing.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
That's all I got.
Well, I have some updates on the situation we talked about last week. Some more has come out about Cutter Gauthier. First, Chris did send both Danger and I a clip of PK Subban talking about it. And I think we all kind of agree with PK, like, if the contract's not right for you, the contract's not right for you. Don't sell your soul to a place you're going to be unhappy for years and years. But Carter, I keep calling him Cutter, because Cutter just doesn't make sense as a name to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's aside the point. I'll talk to your parents
very
later.
Gen Z name.
Yeah.
To your parents later.
Cutter went on the Anaheim Ducks Light the Lamp podcast recently. And this is what he had to say. He said, it's kind of tough to talk about. I'd like to announce that it's a personal matter between myself and my family and my agent. I did see one thing going around the internet that I would like to specifically address about the rumors about Kevin Hayes. I would like to officially say that he had zero conflict with anything that had to do with the trade. And saying all this stuff is pretty ruthless from what people are saying. But Kevin Hayes had nothing to do with the situation at hand, and I can't really talk too much about it. I'm going to keep it to myself, to my family, and to my agent. He also said it wasn't one specific reason why I asked for a trade. He said it was multiple reoccurring issues that I'd seen over the past year and a half or 2 years of being under the Flyers organization. It kind of hit me all at once, thinking I can't move forward with this, and I really need to step up for myself and see what's best for my future. And that's what I did. And there may be one day where I kind of get into the details of what happened, but right now I want to keep it just as a private matter. Lastly, all those rumors saying I was scared of torts, that's not the case at all. I've had many hard-o coaches throughout my life. I think any coach I play for would love to have me on their team, and I want to do whatever it takes to win. And if they're a hard, yelling, screaming kind of coach, I'll roll with the punches. I'm never going to disrespect or talk back to a coach. I'm going to give it my all every single shift, and that was definitely not the reason why I didn't want to play in Philly. I actually met Torts during a dev camp 2 years back. I was super excited and thrilled to meet him, and obviously, being a big name in hockey and the coaching staff industry definitely was not going against playing against him whatsoever. So that's all he said. His agent did say, we think that this is just a private matter and needs to stay private. We understand why people are upset, and people are allowed to be upset and make their own judgment. But on the other hand, along the same lines, when a college player is drafted by an NHL team, there is no entitlement by that team, nor is there a requirement by that player to have to sign there. Like, as you know, recently with Adam Fox with Calgary and Carolina, for example.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that is the update there, which I'm glad they came out and said something. It to me sounds like it's definitely a larger issue than we want, and to me, it's one of those things like, who do you believe? It
Right.
sounds like, according to Philly, they had no clue why it could have happened, and totally blindsided them and all this stuff. But if this was like an ongoing issue or issues over the past 2 years that he's been drafted by them and involved with the organization, then maybe they might have some understanding as to what happened.
Right.
Maybe not full understanding, but they can at least, hazard a guess, I would say. But either
Right.
way, I think that that leads into my next question, which is gonna be our question of the week, which, I'll ask the question, then give a little explanation before we get into our sort of roundtable discussion here. Should the NHL do more to protect their players from their fans? And what I mean by this is, in this specific instance, the NHL allowed the Philadelphia Flyers to go out here and spread all this information about Cutter not calling them back and dropping them with no notice. And Torts came out and said, "Oh, I don't even know the guy," which, as we now know, is slightly untrue. Maybe he doesn't remember him from a dev camp, but still slightly untrue.
Right.
Um, and they talked about him in a way that now has Cutter getting, like, actual death threats. That's something else that was talked about, is that he's getting death threats
Right.
from people, to the point where his current teammates and past coaches have had to come out and be like, "You guys need to chill the fuck out. This is like a good kid, and he doesn't deserve the hate you guys are giving him right now over something that you don't
Right.
know the circumstances of." So we
Right.
have that situation. We have the situation we referenced earlier with, Connor Bedard getting bashed for, Corey Perry allegedly fucking his mom. Um, like, which
Yeah.
sounds kind of funny, but still, like, you then
Right.
also have
Right.
Corey Perry, who was allowed to be speculated about wildly for days and days and days.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, people were
Which
basically saying he must have killed a teammate's daughter or something.
yeah,
Like,
which like
Right.
it was
how do you
insanity.
think Perry's wife feels about all of this shit
Yeah,
with the
right.
rumors and
Whatever his
stuff, you
issues
know?
were, like, that's undeserving for
I
her.
imagine she wasn't loving it.
No. So when we talk about, that's what I mean. Like, all of this has happened, and the NHL very much takes a back seat. It doesn't have any oversight over the teams that are making these announcements and doing these things. Do we think that they should? Do we think that the NHL and its team members, like team organizations, have more of a responsibility, a duty, so to speak? Anyone want to take it first?
Andrew, do you want to serve?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Um, I think I think it's going to be a hard thing to monitor.
Hmm.
The internet is the internet. The internet is full of a lot of really toxic people
Oh
for no
yeah,
reason. I feel like it also doesn't help, especially with the Cutter Gauthier situation. I feel like it doesn't help considering the city he got drafted to. Philadelphia fans are very, very passionate. They are very, very tough on their players
feral.
and their teams. Yeah,
Hmm.
yes, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, they had to literally Crisco the fucking light pole so people didn't climb
And
tall
then
poles
that
over the
still
stadium.
didn't work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
it didn't do shit.
they literally tore that
They have
city
inhuman
apart.
strength. Yeah,
yeah.
It's and like they booed Santa Claus and they threw batteries at Santa Claus. Like
yeah.
Hmm.
They're a
I
beast
I
all into
just
their own.
yeah, like it's so hard, right? Because we're in a world where fans have more access to their favorite athletes than ever before,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And social media is the fastest way to get a hold of your, insert favorite celebrity here.
Right.
Whether or not that they're gonna respond to you, that's a whole separate thing. But odds are, most of the time, especially when it comes to sports, these players are seeing this stuff.
Yeah.
I as I couldn't imagine what Cutter's going through,
Yeah.
and that's awful. And especially with Bedard, like,
Yeah.
this kid just came into the league, and with the whole Perry situation,
Mhm.
he's sitting there like, "Hey, I have nothing to do with this." Yet their fans are coming up with these wild rumors, and one of them
Right.
just happens to catch massive fire.
'Cause
I
it's
don't
funny.
know. Yeah, it's funny, but it also, like,
It's
it's a
it's yeah, destroying a little bit.
so I don't know what the NHL can do. I think teams should be protecting their players. I don't think this falls on the NHL as a whole, because the league itself will always be bigger than its players. That's
Yeah.
The sport itself will always be here, the players will be here. I don't think, and I don't want to say it's like a negligent thing, like, I don't think the NHL's intentionally doing it like that, but
Right.
they've got other things that they have to worry about, as opposed, like, to the integrity of the league itself. I think it really is up to the teams to protect their own players, and to, like, not shit on people.
Yeah.
That's really bad look publicly. And from a
Yeah.
PR standpoint, all right, let's use this as an example. LTN, let's say we announced that we have a new member joining in, right? It's a very highly anticipated thing among our viewers and among everyone. And then things break up, and that person no longer joins else. Our job is to handle that in a
Mhm.
professional standpoint.
Right.
Say,
Right.
hey, so and so, unfortunately, things have fallen through. This person is no longer going to be with us.
Right.
We wish them the best.
Yeah.
Yada yada. After that, it's up to whatever that person would want to say,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be good or bad.
Right.
We have washed our hands of that situation. That is not what Philly did.
No.
Because from what it sounds like, this is a deeper thing that has nothing to do with Philly, and there are multiple people, and it's not all of the Flyers organization. There are some
Right.
people that are, I guess the best obvious example is John Tortorella, who we know is high about just saying whatever is in his brain.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
that I have a problem with. I feel like players should be protected by their teams. And when a player leaves, that should be handled professionally from a PR sense,
Yeah.
I guess.
Danger, did you have something to add?
I mean, I agree with everything Chris said, to be honest. I think that we as fans, though, we can be better
I agree.
than the way a lot of us
Yeah.
behave. In particular in Philly. I hate to be the one to just call them out, but they're
Right.
Nobody who looks like
notorious
a duck
for
and
the
quacks
type
like a
of fans
fucking
that they
duck.
are. Right. And not to say, I mean, riots happen in other cities and stuff, but in Philly, it's like, you guys, sometimes you win a fucking football game and you
I mean,
so
we just saw the
Burn the
Detroit
city
Lions win
down.
their first ever playoff game in fucking, what was it, like 50 years or some shit,
Yeah.
It
and they
was,
did not then light their city on fire. So it is
yeah,
possible.
yeah.
but Detroit's
It is
already on
possible.
fire half the time.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it
That's
is Detroit, but
But
no,
that
no.
is a
All
good
jokes
point.
aside,
That is
a
a
like,
good
good
point.
point.
Yeah.
right. So yeah, so I think we as fans need to be better. And there's no need for death threats anytime, no matter
He's
No.
a
what the fuck
child.
is going.
He is a 19
Yeah,
years old. Granted, he's just a
Well,
yeah.
legal adult
He
who's in his
doesn't
last
deserve death
yeah.
threats.
child.
Especially not for a
Yeah,
situation like this. Like, it's not like he actively harmed anyone, which again, I still wouldn't,
right.
say that death threats are okay either. But like, he
Yeah,
decided not to play with your fucking favorite sports team.
right.
What? Like,
Well,
explain
and
it to
like
me.
even like I said last week, for me it was the seemingly disrespect of him not like just flat out not calling them back. That to me is
Right.
disrespectful. I don't care what organization you're with.
I agree.
But obviously there's a reason behind it. And the one thing none of us said last week, and I'll take the responsibility for it, is none of us said we haven't heard Cutter's response
Yeah.
yet.
Of
Right.
course.
Because he
And-
hadn't had one.
Right.
Yeah.
And so especially
it happened
at
like
the
that
time
day.
it was but still, how quick social media feels
Yeah.
like with everything. Like
True.
if there isn't an immediate response put out there, it's like, what the fuck's going on? So
Yeah.
it's so easy to get
Yeah.
wrapped up in that stuff. And I think no matter what you're fans of, we can be
Right.
better humans.
Oh
Right.
yeah. And like
With all the
I
other stuff, I
definitely-
agree with Chris. Like
I definitely went on a rant about Cutter Gauthier last week, and if
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
listened, my rant had nothing to do with Cutter at all. My
Yeah, yours
rant
was
was
just
more,
Anaheim.
I was upset about Anaheim in what they did, and I still am.
Yeah.
But again, I even said I will still cheer for Cutter Gauthier the second he
Oh,
puts
yeah.
a Ducks jersey on. He's a Duck, and I will cheer for him. And I hope nothing but success. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's a very important distinction, especially when this is something we've
Right.
talked about. We have no gripe with him. And like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I hope,
not at all.
I hope that
Not-
this is everything he needs it to be mentally and professionally. Because
Yeah.
if you're not gonna vibe, and PK said it, how many times do you get a chance in your career to go
To
to
pick where to
any
go.
team you want?
Yeah.
You could pick
Yeah.
any team. And that team within the first 6 years, you basically their rights are basically owned by that team for the first
Yeah.
6 years of your career because of how restricted free agency and stuff works with entry level contract. It's very
Yeah.
similar to baseball. There is a certain amount of time that before you can actually test free agency.
Right.
So I think that this is a win-win for Cutter. He gets to
Yeah.
play out I assume he's probably going to play out the rest of his college career.
There's not much of it left, so yeah.
Yeah, I would assume that he'll probably play that out to make sure he's ready for the NHL,
Mhm.
and then make that transition to the league when he needs, and he'll be in a place where I don't want to say it like, he's a coddled child, but a place where he feels safe enough to play and safe enough to start his career and allow himself to develop as a player. And I think that's great.
So, yeah, I will say I agree with most of that, except that the NHL, I believe, does have some responsibility, and they have responsibility in this way. Their responsibility is to create a guidebook for their teams of like, if you're going to release one of your star players, a Corey Perry or an up and coming Cutter Gauthier, then you need to treat them respectfully when they leave. No assigning some weird, vague whatever that
Right.
leads to a fan base spiraling out of control and creating a potentially unsafe mental environment for these players. You need to run any of your statements about why they're leaving or why they're being traded or why this or why that through some form of PR and legal to make sure that you are covered on any side of it. Because here is what I can see happening. I don't know what NHL contracts look like, but I can tell you that if I were Cutter and I just witnessed what I just witnessed and watched the Philadelphia organization basically make me look like a petulant man-child and potentially ruin my reputation in a league where reputation does matter, I'd be looking into legal action.
Yeah, because that's basically
You know what I mean?
defamation.
It's
Yeah,
basically
yeah, it's
defamation.
defamation.
And so I
So-
would just say like the NHL can do something, and that something is to sit the Chicago organization down and be like, "You cannot do this to one more fucking player."
Right?
Yeah, and
You
sit
piece
Philly
of
down in
shit.
that same
And sit Philly down
conversation
and
be
have
like,
that same
"Hey."
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
except
we've
for
seen
everybody that lives or
Yeah.
is a Philly fan for that matter would need to attend.
Have some media training for these folks.
They all need
Have
Right?
fucking
some
counseling.
fucking guidelines for
Yeah.
these teams. And also have guidelines for the players as well. Like if you get
Yeah.
released from an organization, here's a timeline for what you should do in terms of making an announcement if you feel comfortable and what you should say and what you should avoid and all that kind of stuff. Because that is the other
Right.
side of that. Is that if you don't have an agent and if you don't have a good agent, Cutter's situation could have ended up much worse. We could have seen a
Right.
response where Cutter came out and said, "Fuck the Phillies and fuck yo mama and fuck everybody who lives there." Like, that could have been the
Yeah.
situation, and that would have been
Right.
worse,
Just go
right?
full
Yeah.
fucking heel turn. Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't,
But
thank
not
God.
we're in a company where heel turns are an
Yeah.
acceptable
Yeah, I
manner
know.
of
Right.
handling
I know.
things.
So,
No,
I think
I
that
can
that's what
agree.
the NHL should do.
Yeah, I can
But
Yeah.
agree.
again, Chris, you are right that ultimately the responsibility of that, of enacting that, falls on the teams, but the teams aren't gonna do it unless somebody higher up tells them to,
That yeah,
and that's
no,
where the
I
NHL
can
has to
agree
step
with
in.
you there for sure. That is definitely a thing.
Yeah.
And it's such a hard situation because we're entering territory where these are situations we haven't really seen in the NHL. Like you see them other
No.
places, but like the NHL as a whole has really been lucky with a lot of the
Right.
stuff. I mean, Jesus, look what the NBA's been dealing with for the past like 6 months. All the multiple stuff. The
Yeah.
NFL has their own troubles each week. Like overall, the NHL's been really lucky, but we're now hitting some situations where it's like, all right, these situations have now happened. How
Right.
do we make them be handled better in the future?
Right. Like, team trades back, 20, 30, 40 years ago weren't as big of a deal because
No.
Right.
anybody could say anything,
Yeah.
and it wasn't gonna be internet fodder for a 24/7
Right.
news cycle. You know what I
Right.
mean? People were gonna be talking about it in their, like, little hometowns and their little local communities, but it didn't go beyond that.
No.
Right.
So this is a whole new phase that they're having to deal with that I don't think that they were prepared for, and to be
No.
fair to the NHL, I don't think anyone's prepared for it. I mean, we've seen
No.
so many other businesses, sports, entertainment, political, what have you, fail
Mhm.
in the face of the internet and like, underestimating, the rage that the internet has and will
Yeah.
inflict upon
Right.
you. So,
Fucking hockey Twitter is the Wild West, you
dude,
guys.
hockey
If you're a
Twitter.
part of hockey Twitter, you understand. If you're not, just sit back and
It's
watch
like,
some live tweeting from some shit, and
Dude,
just watch
it's
the movie Fight
chaos.
Club. That explains everything.
That's basically hockey Twitter.
hockey Twitter is fucking ruthless. I am in there sometimes and I'm just like, "Oh my god, why do I suggest myself to this?" And,
I
like,
can
3
only
hours later of doom
stay
scrolling,
down
it's
that hole.
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you
I can only
you know
stay in
why?
there so
Because you
long.
were a teenager in the fucking 2000s. That doom scrolling is what our generation's
Yeah,
real good at.
right. Oh god, it's so bad. Right, well, let's transition out of talk of sad things and drama and into
But we're so
happy
good at
things.
that.
I know. But I said we're keeping it light this episode, Chris. Keeping it light.
You did, and it's been pretty light.
It has been pretty light. We've been tame. All right. So NHL's 3 stars of the week, starting out with third star Alexander Georgiev, goalie for the Colorado Avalanche. Georgiev shared the NHL lead with 3 wins last week, 1.95 goals against average, and a .929 save percentage, with 1 shutout as well, including victories against the reigning President's Trophy and Stanley Cup winners to help the Avalanche to a perfect week. Georgiev made 23 saves and denied all 3 shootout attempts in a 4-3 victory against the Boston Bruins. He then posted his second shutout of the season with a 25 save performance against the Golden Knights and closed the week with a 26 save effort in a 5-3 win against the Toronto Maple Leafs, stopping the final 18 shots he faced after falling the 3 first-period goals as Colorado rallied for its second 3-goal comeback of the 2023-2024 season. The 27-year-old undrafted netminder, who tops the NHL goaltenders in high danger shots against with 286, was voted into the 2024 NHL All-Star Weekend and is set to become the second goaltender to represent the Avalanche at the event, following Patrick Waugh in 1997, 1998, 2001, 2002, and 2003. If anyone was unfamiliar with Patrick Waugh, he is
A
fucking
goat,
legendary.
man.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're unfamiliar with Patrick Waugh, go read a fucking book about the NHL.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell you
No,
he's
he
Yeah.
one
used
of
to
the
be one of
best.
my favorite goalies to watch.
He's still like, I mean,
Yeah,
watching old
he's
footage of him is
one of the
hard because it's
best.
so grainy, but
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
entertaining to watch.
Oh my god.
But
Oh, I'm sorry, I
yeah,
can't hear
like,
you. My Stanley Cup ring. I can't hear you.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
It's so
It's
brilliant.
so good.
Legend.
Love it.
Yeah.
So for second star, we have Blake Coleman, center for the Calgary Flames. He collected multiple points in all 3 games, including an active 3-game goal and multi-point streak. So he continued his streak, basically, is what that is trying to say. Poorly, but it's trying to say. To rank second in the NHL with 4 goals and 3 assists to lead the Flames to a perfect 3-0 week. He started the week by scoring twice in Calgary's 6-3 come-from-behind victory against the Ottawa Senators, notching the go-ahead game-winning goal in the final 12 minutes of the third period. He then had 1 goal and 2 assists in the first period alone, matching a career high for points in one frame to spur the Flames to a 6-2 win over the Arizona Coyotes, one of the clubs against whom they are battling it within the Western Conference playoff race. He closed the week then by matching a career high for the second time this season by extending his goal streak to 3 games and notching 3 straight multi-point games for the first time, collecting 1 goal and 1 assist in a 3-1 victory over the reigning Stanley Cup champs, the Vegas Golden Knights. The 32-year-old Coleman paces Calgary in goals and points this season with 19 goals and 18 assists for a total of 43 points, and sits 1 shy of his third career 20-goal campaign. So very nice for Blake. And lastly, our first star is Elias Pettersson, center for the Vancouver Canucks. Pettersson had a pair of 4-point games and led the NHL in goals with 5, which he tied for that for the week. Game-winning goals with 3 and points, 5 goals and 4 assists to help the Canucks to a perfect 4-0 week and climb into first place in the Western Conference standings. He had 2 goals, 2 assists, including the second of 4 straight winning tallies, as Vancouver won 6-3 against the Eastern Conference leading New York Rangers. Boo. Pettersson scored another winning goal in the Canucks' 5-2 triumph against the New York Islanders. Pettersson posted his 10th career 4-point game, 1 shy of the franchise record, by collecting 2 goals and 2 assists in a 4-3 victory against the Pittsburgh Penguins, capping the effort with an overtime goal for his 4th straight winner, tied for the second longest such streak in NHL history. The 25-year-old Pettersson, who was held off the score sheet in Vancouver's 5th consecutive win at the Buffalo Sabres, ranks second in the club with 22 goals and 35 assists this season in 43 games played. He is set to appear in his 4th career NHL game, announced Saturday as one of the 12 players voted in by fans and one of 6 total Canucks representatives to attend the event in Toronto. Wow, 6 Canucks are going to the fucking All-Stars? That's insane. Why is that so high?
Because they're actually good this year.
Wait, why the fuck is that so high?
That seems really high.
That seems so high.
That seems real high.
Wait, who are the other fan picks and how did we miss saying who they were? So, starting our lineup for the fan vote is William Nylander of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Cale Makar of the Colorado Avalanche, Elias Pettersson of the Vancouver Canucks, Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers, Mitchell Marner, which calling him Mitchell sounds so fucking weird.
That's what he goes
It
by now, and
does.
I'm like, bruh, you're
so
fucking
weird.
I
You're
know.
Mitch,
to
dude.
me.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Mitchell Marner of the Toronto Maple Leafs, JT Miller of the Vancouver Canucks, Morgan Riley of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Brock Besser of the Vancouver Canucks, Thatcher Demko of the Vancouver Canucks, Sergei Bobrovsky of the Florida Panthers, Alexander Georgiev of the Colorado Avalanche, and Jeremy Swayman of the Boston Bruins.
All right, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's interesting. And then there's also the finals for the skills competitions, which
yeah.
there are still 2 more available for vote. So we have David Pastrnak, oh my gosh, Nathan MacKinnon, Cale Makar, Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, Jack Hughes, Nikita Kucherov, Austin Matthews, William Nylander, and Elias Pettersson. So those will be the people participating in the All-Star Skills competition, which is
Dude,
interesting.
The fastest skater's already won. It's a fucking record.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, Connor McDavid.
But there's 44 other people to select for the last 2 positions. So
Oh, wow.
that fan vote is still
I would
open.
pick Zegras, but
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
can't exactly pick Zegras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go vote for that if you are so inclined. I swear to God, if you guys vote for one more goddamn Canuck,
We're gonna fight.
I'm gonna fucking lose
Who
it.
else in that team who else is left?
Like, there's 3 fucking no, there is only 2 Canucks. No, there's 3 Canucks on the skills competition. Like, y'all couldn't have, I don't know, shared the wealth a little bit? We got 2 Avalanche, 2 Oilers, and 3 fucking Canucks.
Wait a minute.
Like,
Crosby's
spread the
not going
wealth.
automatically?
Crosby is. He was selected for the Penguins, not
Why
from the
is
fan
he
vote,
up-
but he was selected.
Yeah.
So the
Why does he
names that I
still
just
up there?
listed are the ones that are specifically doing the skills competition, because this year they've changed the
Right.
formatting where not everyone does a skills comp.
Right. I was just trying to make a vote for like one of the last two or for the
Oh,
last
you
two
can't
skaters.
select them? Maybe he was like, "You know what? I'm good."
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, that would be a Crosby thing.
Just like
I'm-
Ovechkin was like, "Don't fucking vote for me. Thank you."
Yeah, because
Right.
name me an All-Star game that Crosby hasn't made.
Yeah.
Crosby's been at every one.
I mean, he's a great player.
I
Yeah.
see.
He's one of the
I
best
get
to
it
ever
now.
do it. So like, it's same with Ovechkin.
I
It's like the last 3 or 4 years.
Can we call for a recount?
You
Genuinely.
you don't want that many Canuck players.
That's insane. Who's voting for this?
That's a fucking lot, dude.
All of the fan votes, y'all, for the most part, are for the Leafs, the Avalanche, and the fucking Canucks.
How surprised
Like,
are you?
it's spread the wealth. Let Arizona be happy for once. You know what I mean? Celebrate a player. That's crazy.
Let Logan Cooley go, guys. Let him
Like,
go.
although I am happy, I will say, for Jeremy Swayman, I think that the Ullmark Swayman bond in Boston is the cutest fucking thing I've
It's
ever
pretty
seen.
great. It's pretty great.
So I'm happy that Sway is getting to go to the All-Star. Anyway, that's it for me. Sorry for the one extra
Crosby's a 10-time
little
All-Star. That's fucking
thing.
absurd.
That's
Yeah, that was
crazy.
absurd.
It's absurd.
All right, with that, Danger, you want to walk us through? I almost said the bad boys and the bitches, but like getting injured doesn't make you a bitch.
I said the bitch,
That was
man.
unnecessarily hostile. And I deeply apologize. To my own players because they're on there. You know what I mean?
Right.
We got quite a few.
Anyway,
No, this
to
is
the
now
bad
and
boys
forever the
and
bad boys and the
alley
bitches
boys.
Bad boys and the
portion of our
bitches.
podcast.
Oh man,
Um,
I fucked up.
because some of the people on that list are
1,
bitches.
2,
Let's be
3,
honest.
4, 5. That means Washington has 5 bitches.
Bitches. I ain't never told a lie.
We got 4. So
They're not bitches in Washington. They're babes. Okay,
The
babe.
babes. Okay, babe.
Babe.
One of them is king of the babes.
One of them, I don't
Babes.
even know who that guy is. So, like, I
Well,
don't
there's
even.
like 2
Cam Allen,
players
yeah.
on our
Those
list,
ones-
that I
those are
haven't
the rest
mentioned
of them.
all
I know
season because
exactly
they don't
who they
really play for us. Like they
Yeah,
play in
I don't-
Iowa, but because they got
That's-
hurt before the season started,
Right.
These are
when they were up
That's
here,
the one thing about
they're on the list.
NHL's or the ESPN injuries, and I'm like, they're
Yeah,
not on our team, so don't tell me about them right now.
right.
Took an arrow.
No
Oh,
bad boys this last
Woo.
week. Everybody has behaved themselves since the second.
next week half the
Congratulations.
league gets fucking suspended.
Right.
Right?
Although I will say there was some shit that I was like, that should be a fine. That should be a suspension.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
There's stuff that I
absolutely.
watched and I'm like, how is this not getting called out?
Oh no, I agree.
Again,
yeah.
fuck
Oh
the
yeah.
refs.
No. Yes. Don't get me started on that fucking soapbox. So for Anaheim, we have Radko Gudas. He is listed as out. Estimated return date right now says January 20th. We'll have to wait and see because nobody
Yeah.
really knows what happened to him tonight at the game.
Yeah, I get no fucking idea. And
Yeah, like
me and our teams played each other. I
Yeah.
didn't see Judas get hurt.
I didn't either.
So we'll have to keep our eyes out and ears out for, I'm nosy. I like to know what actually happened
Me
with him.
too.
So
One thing says it's a
Um,
lower body thing. That's all I got.
did he break his semen like Semyon?
Oh my god, that was so fucking funny.
I told my grandma about that, and she was dying laughing. And then I
It was just
realized that
particularly funny.
Semyon was on the team we played last night.
That also made the podcast, by the way.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
fair.
that stayed. That was brilliant.
I've
And
come to expect
so
that.
they were talking about him being out still, and I'm like, it's probably for the best. Because if I saw him on the ice, there's no way I could keep
Yeah.
myself from laughing.
Oh, you'd be
Right.
giggling like a fucking child.
Oh
It'd be
gosh.
yeah.
Next for Anaheim, we have Brett Leeson, who is also out. Estimated return date for him also listed as the 20th. Trevor Zegras got hurt last week. He broke an ankle. And he has to have surgery for that ankle. So he will be
6
out
to 8
for
weeks.
6 to 8 weeks.
That's
I'll talk
rough.
to you guys in
Which-
6 to 8 weeks when Z
Yeah.
comes
Yeah,
back.
Chris is just
This
gonna
is when
cry every
Chris
day
is
for the next
gonna-
6 weeks.
yeah,
Goddamn
he's
day.
hibernating.
Yeah.
No updates, it looks like, for Arizona. For the Boston Bruins, we have Matthew Poitras, who is listed as day-to-day currently. No notes on what his injury is. Could be back as soon as the 18th. Linus Ullmark, also listed as day-to-day. Could be back as soon as the 18th. And Brandon Carlo is listed on injured reserve, but could be back as soon as the 18th. For Derek Forbort, it looks like, I don't know if we mentioned it last week. If we did, I apologize. But he has resumed skating, and it's now regarded as week-to-week. Coach Jim Montgomery told Connor Ryan. For the Buffalo Sabres, we have Matthias Samuelsson, listed as day-to-day, could be back as soon as January 17th. And update for Jeff Skinner, looks like he could be returning as soon as the 27th of January.
Yeah, they could fucking use Skinner back.
Right? I think they will take whatever
really
they can
could
get.
use Skinner back.
Yeah, true.
Because Jesus Christ. Buffalo.
For Calgary, we have Dennis Gilbert, listed as out, could be back as soon as the 18th. Jonathan Huberdeau,
Yeah.
he is listed as out as well, could be back as soon as the 18th. Jacob Markstrom, listed as out, could be back as soon as the 18th. And then Jeremy Poirier could be back as soon as February 6th. And then a update for Oliver Kylington, looks like on the 4th he has been out for personal reasons. He then was sent down to the AHL Calgary team for a conditioning stint. So, I mean, that's an update for what we didn't know. For the Carolina Hurricanes, we have Peter Kochkov. Yeah, I did it one time.
There you go.
You're not going to hear it, though. He is listed as day-to-day, could be back as soon as the 19th. Martin Necas, listed as day-to-day, could be back as soon as the 19th. And Frederick Anderson, not Arneson, could be back. This says as soon as January 15th. Well, that was yesterday. But he was out with an illness.
Oh.
And as of December 17th, the 18th, I can read. Krista can't read. I can read. Not well, but... at that point, they said he is still a month away from returning to action, but is expected to start skating soon. So it sounds like mid-December he started skating again. Over the next week to 10 days, he'll start hitting the ice more. So
I'm just happy they got the blood clot situation under control. Like,
yeah, for sure.
That shit's real
for
scary.
sure.
Yeah. So all good things on that one. For Chicago, once again, they're fucking falling apart.
I mean,
Everyone way.
this is the bitches section of this podcast.
Bitches.
I won't argue with that. Although I do love Nick Foligno. I'd give anything. I would give away my first. Well, maybe not. Yeah. I will rent out my firstborn child.
There you go.
That's a joke.
On loan.
For like mowing lawns and stuff. Yeah. Get your head out of the gutter. For Nick Foligno to play like a season with the Wild.
You just wanted to play,
I just want the Foligno brothers both on my team.
Yeah.
I would give anything. But for Chicago, we have Nikita Zaitsev. Right? Yes. Sure.
So, yeah.
He is listed as day-to-day. Could be back as soon as the 17th. Connor Murphy is listed as out. Could be back as soon as the 17th. Nicky Foligno did break that fingy, but he does have a contract extension. Well, we don't know which one.
Pick one.
Probably this one. I'm guessing he broke it playing video games.
It's probably an index finger.
I don't know. I feel like I could sign if my index finger were broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm holding my thumb like that. I could sign.
Yeah, I mean, I've signed before. It's not pretty, though. Anyway, he signed a 2-year, $9 million contract extension on Friday per Jen Pope. Ben Pope, not Jen Pope.
Jesus it's just going off the rails here, you guys.
Pope of the Chicago Sun-Times. At least I said Jen Pope and not like Gen Pop, like general population.
Like,
could always be worse.
About?
Yeah.
Right?
The hell, Bitchwater? No kidding.
Bitchwater is just my evil twin's name.
Yeah.
For Connor Bedard, he still on IR. He did undergo jaw surgery, it looks like on the 10th. It is expected to be unavailable for 6 to 8 weeks. I did hear a couple of little tidbits out of that locker room, and he apparently is already asking when he can skate again. So
Yeah, sounds about
the
right.
team's trying to teach him to slow down, and it's about healing properly.
Yep.
And then I think everybody else on here we've talked about,
Mm-hmm.
and there are not really any major updates. A couple of guys that could be back this week, it looks like, but I'll believe it when I see it.
The one that matters is just Taylor Hall, and we all know he's done for the years.
Yeah, he's out. So, for the Avs, we have Valerie Nikushkin. He, as we talked about earlier, is out for personal reasons and is entering the player assistance program. So, right, yeah, I'm not even going to say that part. Then we have Arturi Lankinen. Head coach Jared Bednar says he's could play towards the end of Colorado's current road trip. The Avs last Saturday kicked off with that road trip. We'll see it. You know, could be back as soon as the 24th. Even though that doesn't make sense, people. Right? Like, their road trip ends the 20th, but could be back the 24th.
Could be.
Math, not math.
Well, I mean, that's just an estimated date, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get it. But my brain just had the hardest time putting the two and two together. Cause I'm like, that's just conflicting information. Like, that doesn't add up right.
They've only got, 2 more games left on their road trip? Why would you not have Lehkonen just join you on your next
Well, and maybe that's what he means more, that he'll...
That's where I'm like, towards the end of the road trip, it seems like you're better off just having him there for your next homestand, as opposed to making him fly out and just,
tire him out unnecessarily.
Yeah, give him that extra bit to, be good to go.
Right. No other major updates on anybody else right now. That I can tell. For Columbus, we have Nick Blankenberg. He is on IR. Could be back as soon as the 19th. And Patrick Lane is also on IR. Could be back as soon as the 27th. For Dallas, we have Miro Heiskanen. Thank you. He was out with, or is listed as out with that lower body injury, continues to skate and will travel with the team for their upcoming 4-game road trip, says Stars radio host Owen Newkirk. But he is listed as possibly as soon as February 6th. Jesus, Jones. Also for them, we have Scott Wedgwood, who is listed also as out, could be back as soon as the 18th. I know they did get Ottinger back last night. Was his first game back, I think. So that's always good to see him come back. For Detroit, we have Jake Wallman. He is listed as out. Could be back as soon as the 19th. Ville Husso. He's still out with that lower body injury on IR. Hasn't regained full maneuverability, but is apparently skating. And Matt Luff is also listed as IR. Could be back as soon as the 11th. For Edmonton, we have Sam Gagner. He is listed as out and could be back as soon as January 18th. Ryan Fantini. Not Fantini. Fanti, yeah. Jesus. He is listed as IR, could be out or back as soon as the 27th. For Florida Panthers, we have Dmitry Kulikov. He is listed as day-to-day, could be back as soon as the 17th. And Alexander Barkov is listed as day-to-day, could be back as soon as the 17th.
This must have just happened because he played yesterday against Anaheim. That's why I was like, this.
So he's dealing with a minor lower body injury, says Jamison Olive of the Panthers official site.
Yeah, so
as of yesterday. Yeah, the 15th. So
yeah, it makes sense. So it might have been
just
taking place during
aggravated
the game.
something.
Up, yeah.
Because he played the whole game.
And then Nick Cousins was expected back as soon as the 11th. He has not yet returned to the ice as he is still experiencing concussion symptoms, says
Maybe
Coach
that'll
Paul
teach him to
Maurice.
stop fucking headhunting other people. I'm sorry, did I
Right?
say that out loud?
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
It was supposed to stay in my head.
The LA Kings, we have Blake Lizotte, another Minnesota kid, if I remember correctly. He's out with a lower body injury, will likely be out through the All-Star break, according to Dennis Bernstein of the fourth
Bernstein
period.
Bears.
That's where my
Reporting
brain
from
definitely wanted to
Julius.
go.
Yeah.
And then Phoenix Copley is still out on IR. He did undergo successful ACL surgery, which is always a good thing. And then update a little bit on Victor Arvidsson. He could be back as soon as February 10th, but is also still listed as IR. For the Minnesota Wild, we have Jared Spurgeon. Could be back as soon as this week. No, that's a lie. Jared Spurgeon is going to be moved to the long-term IR. I can't even fucking talk about it. I'm so upset. But yeah, so he taking care of that injury. Vinny Lettieri is out with that lower body injury, was placed on IR Tuesday. Montreal Canadiens, Josh Anderson is listed as day-to-day. He is out with a lower body and expected to link up with the Canadiens on the road once he's given the green light to return. Tanner Pearson is listed on IR. He is out with an upper body injury and will travel with the Canadiens for the team's upcoming 3-game road trip to continue the rehab. Jesse Yolonen? Sure.
I think so.
I was hoping for you guys to be able to weigh in.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think that's an actual player. I don't hear that name, so I'm going to guess that that's an AHL player. I'm going to click on his name and be wrong, though.
No, he's 24. He's played 3 games this season.
See, there you go. Then he's
a
yeah. So yeah, he probably is. But so maybe that's why my brain farted the way it did.
I've just never seen it.
Yeah. So he is just listed as day-to-day. Alex Newhook is listed on IR. Could be back as soon as February 17th. And Chris Weidman is also still listed on IR. For the Nashville Predators, we have Tyson Barrie listed as day-to-day. Could be back as soon as the 18th. New Jersey Devils. Jack Hughes, listed as day-to-day. Could be back as soon as the 17th. Andre Palat, listed as day-to-day. Could be back as soon as the 17th. Brendan Smith, listed as day-to-day. And said apparently he exited Monday's 3-0 loss to Boston because of a leg injury. So that just happened yesterday. Jonas
Siegenthaler.
Siegenthaler, thank you. Mm-hmm. He is listed as IR, could be back as soon as February 6th. And then no real update. Thomas Nosek was moved to long-term IR. That looks like the only update here. For the New York Islanders, we have Pierre Engvall listed as out, could be back as soon as the 19th. Casey Zizekas, listed as out. Yeah. Could be back as soon as the 25th. Semyon Varlamov, it was placed on IR. But otherwise, no real updates on any of the other guys there. New York Rangers, we have Tyler Pitlick, listed as out. Could be back as soon as the 16th. For Ottawa, we have Josh Norris, listed as out, could be back as soon as the 18th. Anton Forsberg still on IR, but this says could be back as soon as the 10th, or maybe that's when they expect the next update on him. For Philly, we have Sean Couture. I don't remember how I have. Yeah. He's listed as day-to-day, could be back as soon as the 18th. And Jamie Drysdale listed as day-to-day, could be back as soon as the 18th.
I still hate it. I hate hearing his name on any other team. I hate it.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Been there lots of times. For the Pittsburgh Penguins, we have Chad Ruhwedel.
Yep.
He has an undisclosed injury that happened in the third period of Monday's 3-0 win over Seattle, listed as day-to-day. Riley Smith is listed as out, could be back as soon as February 6th. Matt Nito did apparently undergo successful laparoscopic surgery on Thursday, which would have been like the week of the 11th. So Thursday was the 11th. Expected to miss the next 6 to 8 weeks, so that's a big update on his injury. For San Jose, we have Logan Couture. He has got a lower body injury, was ruled out for the remainder of the San Jose road trip, so he is on IR. Ty Emberson listed as out, could be back as soon as January 23rd. And no real updates on any of the other guys there. For Seattle, we have Philip Grubauer listed on IR with that lower body injury. Was placed on long term. So,
yeah.
Andrei Burakovsky is listed as out, could be back as soon as the 18th. Vince Dunn listed as out, could be back as soon as the 18th. This says Matty Benier might be back as soon as the 21st, but I don't necessarily believe that. For St. Louis, we have Kasperi Kapanen listed as IR. Anton Malmstrom listed on the IR still, and Joshua Jacobs as well. They all have updates, it looks like, this month, so I'm guessing that that's when they'll update us, and that's not when they think they'll still return. So, for the Tampa Bay Lightning, we have Mikhail Sergachev, and the update there is lower body. He isn't expected to be back until after the All-Star break. So looking at potentially February 7th versus the Rangers. Eric Cernak listed as day-to-day, could be back as soon as the 18th. Tanner Jeannot listed on IR, could be back as soon as the 18th. Hayden Fleury also listed on IR. They're saying won't be back until at least the 25th. For Toronto Maple Leafs, we have Joseph Woll. He has an ankle injury. He is traveling with the team for their current 4-game road trip, but he is listed on IR. And doesn't look like any big updates on anybody else there. For Vancouver, we have Philip Di Giuseppe. Undisclosed injury, was placed on IR Saturday. For Las Vegas, we have Jerry Patira. Listed as day-to-day, could be back as soon as the 18th. And Tobias Bjornfot.
A great name.
Right? Bjornfot. Listed as IR, could be back as soon as the 18th. For the Washington Capitals, we have Alex Ovechkin. God, yeah, I don't like saying that one. He is out.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Today it said he wasn't just going to play in the game tonight against Anaheim. Yeah. Sonny Milano is listed as IR with an upper body injury. It says he did practice in a non-contact jersey last Friday.
It's good news.
Which is a good thing.
Unfortunately, he could not play, but he did not play in his giveaway night. But he did still show up, and he autographed them for fans, which I thought was really cool.
That's awesome.
I don't think he played tonight. No, he did not.
D's like, I wish I got one of those fucking Chia pads.
Yeah,
Right.
I wish I had thought to buy tickets, but I did not.
I would just get Snapchats. Look where I'm at, bitch.
You would have, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
Rasmus Sandin also looks like he is practicing in a non-contact jersey, and he had that upper body injury. Still listed as IR. Cam Allen listed just as out. Could be back as soon as February 6th.
He doesn't even go here.
You don't even go here. I watched that recently, so that's even funnier.
Yeah.
And for Winnipeg Jets, we have David Gustafsson. On the 12th, it looks like he had that lower body injury before, but on the 12th, he did practice or participated in a non-contact jersey.
Looks like Mark Scheifele is out for Winnipeg as well.
Oh. He does not show up on mine.
He shows up on CBS.
Okay.
Updated today through at least the 20th.
Yeah,
with
I
a
don't
lower
see
body
him.
injury.
I knew he was still out.
Yeah.
I didn't think.
Yeah, because I think we talked about him last week.
I know he didn't play yesterday.
Yeah, the latest update is that he's still expected to be out.
Okay.
Let me just check the box score real fast while I'm thinking of it, just to make sure he didn't play.
Did we talk about Jack Eichel last week too being out? I remember that one.
I think it happened after.
Yeah,
it's a week. I think right now.
Oh, Jack Eichel wasn't on ESPN's list either.
No, he's
there's
on
a bunch
the NHL.
now on there.
He's literally on the NHL page.
Yeah.
Week to week for Vegas because
right.
he had surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the update is February 6th.
Yeah. No, I hate when some of them aren't on there at all.
Yeah.
Because I don't think, William Karlsson. Did I mention him?
Karlsson played.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Anyhow.
ESPN, sort your shit.
Right?
Well, and
you would expect they would be the most up to date out of everybody.
You know what irritates me is why the fuck doesn't the NHL have
an
injury report on the website?
Yeah.
That
you would think they would know.
Else?
100%.
Right? They would be the number one place that I would go to find out that information,
right?
and they don't have it at all.
Yeah.
What the fuck, bro? NHL.
Just like they don't track NHL, like the suspensions and fines on NHL.com.
Yeah, no.
Listen
to our podcast.
The Wikipedia page.
Follow what we
Thankfully, thank God for Wikipedia, though. Like, these people that actually take it seriously and update correct information, but are, right on top of that shit, man.
All right, so our obscure NHL player of the week is a gentleman by the name of Terry Ryan. Born in 1977 in St. John's, Newfoundland. He was drafted 8th overall in 1995 by the Montreal Canadiens. Anyone know what's special about him?
He ate an apple a day and kept the doctor away.
No. So, he played 8 games in the NHL. He played... Where are we? He obviously played for 2 seasons with the Montreal Canadiens.
Okay.
As well as a little stint. Oh no, I'm sorry. He played 3 seasons with the Montreal Canadiens. He had a very nice long career in minors. His AHL career lasted 184 games. He had 44 goals, 63 assists, 657 penalty minutes. Oh, by the way, in those...
What does that average out to per game?
That's insane. In those 8 NHL games, by the way, I want to acknowledge that he had 36 penalty minutes.
That's 6 penalty minutes per game, or 5 penalty minutes per game.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
In between his long playing career, Terry Ryan has a Bachelor of Arts degree in English and folklore. He has written a book. He has done his hand in stand-up comedy, and he has also done some acting, most notably.
Really?
He is a series regular on the Hulu original show Shoresy, as well as being a part of season 8 of Letterkenny as one of the players from Newfoundland. Also, he just signed a standard player contract with his hometown team of the the Newfoundland Wanderers? Growlers, the Newfoundland Growlers. And laced up and played at 47 years old. He
Wow.
recorded 7 penalty minutes after instigating a fight with Zach Walker in a 6-2 loss on his 47th birthday. I believe this is for the rest of the season,
Wow.
That's
which I think
amazing,
is
and I love
which I
it so
think
much.
is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was really cool to talk about Terry Ryan. I am a big fan of Letterkenny. I love Shoresy. And his character Ted Hitchcock is great.
Can I
Oh, this is
also just
crazy.
point out that it was last night when I sent you this article, and I was
I
like,
know.
"Hey, did you see this?" And you're like, "He's actually our obscure player tomorrow."
And then she goes, "Wait, was this
Immediately.
because?" I was like, "Yeah, I literally had done. He was my
I
pick
was like, "Did
for a
you
couple
find this
days
out
now."
before or after?"
Yeah.
Yeah, for a couple days he was my pick, and I was
I
just
love
like,
it.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's
I
so
need to.
funny though.
But
That's
It
crazy.
yeah, made me laugh way too hard because I was like, "Yo,
Yeah.
Shorzy!"
yeah, literally, fucking Hitch at like one of my favorite characters as just a wild dude from Newfoundland, and the fact that he's actually
Dude.
from Newfoundland and
Yeah.
makes me smile.
Right.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so
But no, that's awesome.
if you want to see Mr. Terry Ryan, switch over to Hulu and watch the first 2 seasons of Shoresy, and
I
you will
want to
see
note, I
Hitch
just pulled
in
up his
his fucking
stats, which are hilarious. In his 97-98 season with the Canadiens, he played 4 games,
yeah. And
had 3 minutes and 30 seconds of ice time, and had 31 minutes in penalties.
What a
In
fucking
4
legend.
games, he had 31 minutes and only was on the ice for 3.5.
I love
That is
that.
insane.
I love it.
I
also
want the
love
tape from that. Like I want to relive that.
that whole season. I
Right?
want to know
How
what
the fuck
that
did
was
you get
about.
that many Yeah.
How many game
Yeah.
misconducts do you think that's?
Right? I wish
I
that
mean,
they
it
were
has
keeping
to be
stats like this back then because I would love to know. What did he
Yeah.
do? Who the fuck did he fight?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, dude,
Sounds like every time his skate touched the ice, he punched somebody in the throat or something. Like,
he
Yeah.
played 8 games with the Hershey Bears in 2000-2001. He
Go
recorded
Bears.
Hey.
through 8 games, 1 assist, 36 penalty minutes.
Yeah. And I should
Dude,
say that 3:30 is his average time on ice, not his total time.
oh,
what
okay.
is
That's fair.
what is the most is the question. His most in a season was for the Fredericton Canadiens. 71 games, he had 256 penalty minutes.
Yeah.
This dude, my man was a fucking menace.
In the
Love
game
it.
against Boston, he had
last
12
fucking-
penalty minutes and only 4.5 minutes of ice time.
That's ridiculous. Dude,
Isn't that
my
Phenomenal.
man, the fucking numbers he has in the postseason 25,
Yeah.
35, 32, 10, 34,
That is crazy.
43. He is the last of the enforcers. And shout
Yeah.
out to fucking Terry Ryan. Hitch. We'd love to
Apparently
have
he
you
did
on.
get into a fight on his birthday game, which was his
Yeah, he
return
did.
to
That's,
the
the one game he played for the Newfoundland Growlers. He's like, I didn't
Yeah.
expect to win, but he goes, it felt good to get back out there. I was like, yeah, I bet it
Yeah.
did just to punch someone in the face in real life.
Mhm.
Right?
Oh my god.
And it's not discouraged. In fact, it's
I love it.
encouraged.
Yeah, it's
That is
fucking
awesome.
Love
what is
it.
it? ECHL hockey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Senior hockey.
Well, shout out to him. If you want to follow him on Instagram, his username is at TerryRyan2020. Because I guess he started it in the pandemic. Chris, thank you so much for that really informative deep dive into Terry Ryan. And thank you, listeners, for joining us for another episode this week. We had a lot of fun. If you have a question of the week, please ask it either in our YouTube comments, on any of our social medias, in our email address, by a carrier pigeon. Write a note on a bottle and throw it in the ocean, and we will answer your question in 87 years.
If you're watching
Same.
still right now, in the comments, I want you to tell me what
Your favorite
player,
color.
tell me your favorite color. Um, what
Or
like
your favorite
former
player.
NHL enforcer would you like to see lace up in the NHL one more?
Oh
Yeah,
God,
that's a great question.
that is a
Other
good
than
one.
that, be sure and like, it's fucking free. Subscribe, also free. Do anything that's free because why not? It makes your
Right.
day, makes my day, everyone's day is just made a
It
little bit
helps
better.
all of us.
Yeah, exactly. Tell your friends, unless they're like really, really prude and or don't like cuss words. In which case, don't.
Fuck them.
Yeah, in which case, why are they your fucking friend, bro? Reevaluate.
Yeah, get new friends that don't suck.
Get better friends,
Get better
sucker.
friends. Anyway, thank y'all so much. We will see you mother puckers in the face-off circle next week.